Hi everyone, welcome to Lilybug's Library. My name's Linda, and sorry about the lack of a background today. I'm on the big comfy couch. So I'm coming to you today with our Friday reads. So we'll go over what I read in the last week and what I'm reading currently, and then just a little update about life. So, so the first one I'll talk about is one that I had mentioned briefly before that I've got a book club upcoming that this was the book we were going to read for January. So I'll talk to you about that one. It's called Snowflower and the Secret Fan. And sorry if I keep looking away, but that's where my notes are. So this one was very interesting. It was about this woman named Lily, and she starts out just as a young girl, around six or so, and the matchmaker comes and takes a look at her feet and decides that, maybe they could be, I think they call them golden lilies, which means perfect kind of. And that back in the day, that was supposed to be a sign of being more marriageable in China. And so that was, what everyone aspired to. So the matchmaker comes and pairs her up with this other girl, and they call her her Lao Tong, which is basically like a best friend, and but it's supposed to be a best friend for life. And so the two girls, spend time together, and they both end up at seven getting their feet bound, which when they describe it, it sounds like torture I can't even imagine, because basically they bind their feet so they're kind of like this. And no, I think they actually bind the toes under somehow. I'm not sure even how they do it, but and then they have the girls walk on them until basically until the bones break and they get formed into that position. Yeah. And so they both go through that, and then, they start to spend time together, and they really do become best friends. And then the story is about how they grow up together and how they learn this secret women's language to communicate, and how their lives go in very different directions. So, excellent book. I would definitely recommend it, and I would give it 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. So the next one was called 1 Second After. And that one was a dystopian novel that Wonderful Husband and I read. And there are, I believe, more in the series. There's, like 1 minute after, 1 hour after. I don't know how it goes on, but the first one is 1 second after. And it's 1 second after there is a EMT hit, I guess, because someone from a foreign country had set off a nuclear attack, but high enough up in the air that apparently it took out all the electronics, but didn't do, the damage that a nuclear attack normally would. But this was almost worse, because you don't realize how many things that would affect. Like, I mean, I knew it would affect, like, you wouldn't have any heat necessarily, you wouldn't have any power, um, bank machines wouldn't work. It's, all those things. But then it goes so much deeper where, pacemakers wouldn't work, and insulin pumps wouldn't work, and IV drips wouldn't work. And so it really gets in depth into it. Um, I did like the concept of it, and I like the fact that it taught me a lot about what actually would happen if that were ever to happen. But what I didn't care for is I found there was a lot of explaining rather than showing. And I also felt it, I mean, I know it would get very dark as, life went on, but it did at times get very heavy and very dark and depressing. And, which I'm, like I said, I'm sure that probably would be the case, but you need a little lightness now and again too. So, although the information was good, I would give that one a 3 out of 5. So the next one that I read, I've never read her before, which I don't know why I've never read her before because I certainly knew the name. But her name was Francine Rivers, and it was called The Masterpiece. And so this one was really interesting. It was this woman who has a son, excuse me, and she goes to get a job with this artist, and they're total opposites. She is a Christian woman who is very devoted to her faith and to her son, and is really just trying to make her way in the world, whereas he is he's angry and brooding, and he doesn't even believe in God, and he's just does everything he can to push people away, mostly based on his past. And so it's all about her getting to know him, and the difference that they make in each other's lives, and how it grows into something more, and how he starts to find his way. So characters were really well done. You really get in depth into both characters and what their lives have been like, and the mistakes that they've made, and their triumphs as well. And it was the setting was lovely, and they did a really great she did a really great job of it. So really enjoyed that one, and would definitely read another one by her. I'll have to actually go looking and see what else she's written, because I know she's been around quite some time, and she has a lot out there. So that one I would give 5 out of 5. So another one I read, and it's kind of funny, I guess, the way that I ended up with this one, but I've had it on my TBR for a while, and the reason that I had it was because I had subscribed to the author's newsletter, and she'll put captions in now and again, or put pictures in now and again, and you have to send in a funny caption for it. And so one month I won this contest of the caption. Don't even remember what it was now, I'll be honest. But anyway, so I ended up with one of her books, and she writes the Pineapple Port Mysteries. Her name is Amy Van Sant, and I might not be pronouncing that right, but anyway. And the one I got was called Pineapple Lies, and it was a really good cozy mystery. It's all about this woman who lives, Charlotte, who lives in a seniors complex. And the reason she lives there is because her parents had died when she was fairly young. And so she went to live with her grandmother, who was in this seniors complex. But then her grandmother died. And she was still quite young. She was like 11 or 12 when her grandmother died. And they made arrangements, the whole community, to be able to keep her in her grandmother's house and have everyone in the community kind of look after her. And so that's what happened. She ended up growing up in this seniors complex, and now she's, in her, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s, and she's still there. So she's had a very different sort of life. So in this one, she ends up finding a skeleton in her backyard, and so it's all about them trying to figure out who the skeleton belongs to and how on earth it got there. So again, I thought it was really good. It was so many funny lines in it, and just things that make you giggle. I was trying to think, and like she talks a lot like the senior ladies sometimes, because that's what she grew up with. So she'll say, these phrases that are, from way back in the day, and doesn't even realize kind of that that's not very modern of her. And so she meets a guy that's in Pineapple, or near Pineapple Port. I don't. He's not actually living in Pineapple Port, but he's near it, and gets to know him. And and it's all about her with the different people in Pineapple Port, and then with this guy, and uh, the characters are all really good. Like they're so fun and quirky, like a lot of senior mysteries are. And I just thought the actual mystery itself was really well done, and you kind of get a hint now and again, but not enough that you're sure who the killer actually was. So anyway, really enjoyed it. I would give that one a 5 out of 5 as well. So it's been a good reading week. So that's what I've read so far. Wonderful Husband and I are working on Dim Sum of All Fears, which is the second in the Noodle Shop mysteries. So far we're enjoying that one. And for my classic that I've been trying to read, and it's getting there, I'm reading The Black Arrow, which is a Robert Louis Stevenson book. He's the same person that wrote Treasure Island, and which apparently didn't do very good when it came out. It was a serialized story for boys, and it came out at the same time as apparently another story that was more popular. So that one didn't do that great. And then later on, they asked him to write Black Arrow, so that's what he did. And that one apparently was quite popular, but at that point, Robert Louis Stevenson didn't really care because he was not doing well with his health, and that was the last thing that he ended up writing. So it is starting out. I think I'll enjoy it a lot more than that last one, but it is written in a way that takes a lot longer to read because it's more very old language, and it's just a bit more of a something for your brain. So anyway, we'll see how that one goes. And I'm also listening to Kindred on Audible, which so far is excellent. And the narrator is really good, so that totally helps with an Audible book. So that's what's going on as far as my reading. Now, as far as life, my long-term disability has been denied, and my appeal has been denied. So I am going back to work. You can't live on nothing. So that's what's happening. And so I'll be back to work in a couple of weeks on a limited basis, and we'll kind of see how that goes and go from there. Um, yeah, so that's what's going on. So it means that, once that happens, I don't know how much time I'll have or how I'll feel. So if I seem to disappear now and again, you'll know why. But we'll make it work. All right, so I hope everybody has a great day, and I'm going to see my aunt at some point today and spend some time with her. And it's a little bit sunny out, but very cold. It's minus 12 Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but cold, just cold. All right, so I hope everybody has a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.